Hey folks, Deano here again. This time taking a look at another bootleg real grade. Yeah, I was quite excited when this one got announced. This is the MSN 04 Sazabi. Basically the antithesis to the real grade new Gundam, as piloted by Char Aznables, which was the main antagonist of the original Momo Gundam show and the movie after it, Chars, Counterattack. Finally, I got that out there. But yeah, big thanks, first of all, to Momo Toys Household Store for sending this out for review. Massive shout out to them. Link will be in the description if you wish to purchase this guy, but it will come with a caveat of watching the video first. So yeah, and that caveat being, this kit isn't the best, unfortunately. This bootleg is by Star, who I have reviewed a bootleg Gunpla of them before in the past, and it was actually quite good. That being said, the actual shell of this guy is really high quality, like the red parts, really super high quality. Nothing looks soft or anything like that, but it's the frame. the inner frame of this guy leaves a lot to be desired, unfortunately. Just the tolerances, but we will go more into that later when we get to articulation. But yeah, still very hyped to have this guy. Like I said before, link will be in the description if you wish to purchase this one, but I will also have the other versions of this that are out. There's one by Seahai, I think I'm pronouncing that properly. Which, frankly, the reason I got this guy is because I heard the Seahai version was of a poorer quality. So yeah, that one will be down there, which it's up to yourselves. Gao Gao are also making a version of this guy. All the bootleg companies seem to just suddenly set their sights on this one kit to bootleg. I don't know if Changlong are doing it, as of yet anyway. I originally thought they already had, because Naughty Naughty of Seahai, they actually used 5503 as their naming of their bootleg. So yeah, I believe that confused quite a few people when that came out. But yeah, up to yourselves. If you wish to purchase them, I'll have both links down in the description, as well as some of the other versions of this guy. And I realise I have been droning on for way too long, so let's get the kit off the turntable and take a look at the box. So in terms of the box here, we've got another huge one. Obviously, real grades, they tend to come with big boxes just to begin with, so yeah. We have one right here. It looks as if they've literally just taken the picture of the official real grade and sort of removed the logos. So yeah, we've got Sazabi there, close up of the helmet or the head of the mobile suit. We've got all the usual stuff down below, just missing the copyrights and trademarks and things. On the side, same deal, just the usual stuff. On the bottom, showing the inner frame, as well as some of the things you can do with it. These things are an absolute nightmare, these little canisters. We will get into that later. Again, same on that side. And on the top, we just have some posies, as well as a label that AliExpress stuck on it, saying it is indeed the Star version. So yeah, apologies headphone users if you just heard heard some crackling there. That would be a couple of pair of hands, which, yeah, I will explain more in a second. That being said, let's get into the accessory segment, shall we? So, I would say this is everything it comes with, but it's not. Technically, the canisters on his back would count as accessories, and he's also supposed to come with another pair of hands, which he did come with, but unfortunately, they are completely mismoulded. The peg holes to sort of slot or sandwich the fingers to the back of the hands for the gripping pair, yeah, they are non-existent. they don't exist in the kit. It's impossible to use them because obviously real grades tend to use, or at least these slightly older style ones, use pegs for anything they grip. So yeah, kind of stuck in terms of like the weapons he can hold. Thankfully, the trigger finger hand does have the same size peg as on like the beam saber handles and this sort of beam axe thing that he comes with. So that is good. You can still use it, but you're then limited in how you can use them, if that makes sense. So yeah, left to right, we have a pair of large sort of side beams for the axe. We also have a pair of small versions. Personally, I will be using these large versions to make a big massive sword. But we also get his beam rifle, which is black and grey, as opposed to the white and bluish of the new Gundam. Here we have two pairs of hands and a trigger finger. So we've got a pair of fists, a pair of relaxed hands, and the trigger finger. As I said before, he's supposed to come with a pair of gripping hands. That just did not work. Not sure if that will be a widespread issue or not. We have a mini Char Aznable right here. Very glad he was cast in red plastic. Means you don't really have to attempt to paint him any. So yeah, we have a pair of beam sabers with the beam saber blades. They are very reminiscent to a... oh, what is it? The Epion, that's it. Yeah, very reminiscent to that. They're not standard beam saber blades by any means. They have a square peg for starters, and they're very flared out sort of thing. Obviously, Zeon, they don't have the same technology, being the antagonists, so everything is slightly different, but still very nice. So yeah, pair of beam sabers and the beam axe. The beam axe is very, very cool. Actually, once everything's on there, it gives the Epion a run for its money with its beam saber. So yeah, I know they're different universes technically. I'm not sure why they go that route, to be honest, but yeah, different universes. But yeah, Char gets the better beam saber overall, I believe. And then we have this absolutely colossal shield that comes with this kit. Very nice. There are real grade stickers here, which brings me on to the next point. You actually get both real grade stickers and water slides with this kit, and you get to choose what to put on them. I, of course, went with the real grade stickers because why not? I'm lazy. I don't have the patience or the time to do water slides. So yeah, you get an entire sheet here. The stickers themselves, they aren't the highest quality, as you'll see once we get to the main mobile suit itself, but they are nice enough to get the job done. You do kind of see the border though, unfortunately. Although Bandai's aren't much better, so yeah. Didn't use all the stickers obviously on this kit. I only used some, so yeah. That out of the way, let's move on and take a look at the kit. So, quickly showing you, the hands are obviously just a ball peg. They pop on very nicely. And the top, or the bottom, I suppose you would say, of the arm is an MS joint. So it's softer, but not quite as soft as you would like. In fact, I believe some of the issues with the official kit, with parts breaking, were both to do with the wrists and the shoulders. The shoulders on this guy, I'm happy to report, feel nice so far. They are not overly tight. As long as you follow the instructions and pop it all into position correctly, it should be fine. This was one of the first kits to use the sort of... You will notice I am messing about with the feet a lot. We will get to that in a minute. Oh, for goodness sake, stand up. That'll do him. He's precariously hanging right there. We will get to the feet in a moment. But yeah, the shoulders, it was one of the first to use the sort of key system, where you have to push it in a certain amount before you twist it. If you twist it at the wrong part, you will just shear the entire thing off and the shoulder would be ruined. But I'm happy to report mine went together without issue on this guy. Just quickly showing the blades and things like that. All you have to do is slot that bit in there. One of the beam saber blades goes in the middle right there. And finally, this side slots in right there. And then you just sort of maneuver the middle part into position, and you have one absolutely gargantuan beam saber. So yeah, really cool looking. Thankfully it fits into the trigger finger hand just fine. It also fits into the bottom of the shield, which personally is how I am going to fix the issue of what do I want him holding. Yeah, you just take these pegs here, these bottom two, and slot the axe on. These top two are for just storage for the beam axe, just to be put away. Just standard storage right there. You make sure you use this bottom peg right here. The top peg is for him holding it. And then all you do is push in. And yeah, you have an even bigger blade. I think that looks really cool. Turning the shield into a weapon right there. Very nice. Finally, we will quickly show real grade style fingers. So they just pop apart like so. And then you simply sandwich the trigger finger hand in there. You might as well do this if you're planning on just using the rifle, because as far as I can tell, there's no storage for this this beam rifle. So yeah, quite strange considering they have storage for the big beam axe. But yeah, fits like that, and the trigger finger, or the actual trigger assembly itself, does move. So very nice. Oh, and it's also like a pump action shotgun. This moves back and forth. Quite cool. And finally, these standard beam sabers just slot in as they normally would, which is quite nice. Again, no storage for the actual beam sabers. They sort of cheese it with this guy. The beam sabers technically store in his arm. You can see that red bit right there. You can also technically take a beam saber blade and just pop it straight in there to have it coming out of his wrist. I don't plan on doing that, so yeah, just something to again bear in mind. To use some of the accessories, you do have to pop those little red bits out. So yeah, bear that in mind. But yeah, taking a look at the kit itself now, finally. Overall, like I said in the beginning, it's a really nice looking suit. Like, none of the details have been lost in the bootleg process. What has been lost, unfortunately, is tolerances in some of the joints. Specifically, the feet. These feet are like uncomfortably loose, including the upper legs as well. But the upper legs, that is partly due to the fact that there is an MS joint right about that area, I believe. Which, yeah, that same MS joint holds all of the hip skirts in place, which, as you can imagine, makes it a bit of a pain in the backside. Case in point, it literally falls off at the slightest touch. Really not fun, especially when the the articulation wants to go before this pops back in, despite how loose it is. There we go. So yeah, the MS joint in this guy, or the MS joints rather, in this guy are not the best by any means. They are quite obviously a lower quality plastic than what you would have seen with the official kits. But that being said, MS joints themselves go loose over time anyway, so yeah, you're just getting the authentic experience a bit quicker. Also, quite a few parts of this guy I had to glue. In terms of the shell, they love popping off. This lower ab section right here, it doesn't really do anything, it just slots in, so I glued it. Same with these bottom half of the skirts. They do pull down, but they don't slot in all that well compared to what they probably should, so they tend to pop off when you do that. Again, glued it in place. And yeah, I am also debating gluing the feet in certain points in place, because yeah, it's an absolute pain in the backside. Like, this front heel loves to move forward on you when you're just having him in a standing pose, and because the back of the heel moves independently, as well as this bottom pit being just a little bit too loose for my liking, because it should just pop into place there and stay in position, but yeah, slightest bit of movement there and that friction is gone. So yeah, feet are by far the worst offender on this guy, like bar none. So yeah, have him in a flight pose if you insist on buying this kit in particular. One other bit I did glue is, yeah, unfortunately, these little rocket pods on his backpack. Yeah, for some reason the tolerances were off on those as well. They kept just popping out of the socket. So yeah, had to glue them in place. I don't have the effect piece to have them flying out there anyway, so yeah, didn't see the need. But you can get a version of this kit with those rocket pod effects coming out, so yeah, your mileage may vary. Yeah, other than that, like, I know it sounds like I've just nitpicked this guy to all hell, but he is a really, really cool looking mobile suit. And he is very different from any Gundam we have ever seen before. Obviously this isn't a Gundam, this is a Zeon mobile suit. Or Neo Zeon, I should say. But yeah, it's got a presence about it. And one of the other versions that you can get is actually the metallic sort of coating that's on it. You can also get a clear red one, but clear plastic on an entire mobile suit, bit brittle. But yeah, I would really recommend going for the metallic red. I think that looks absolutely incredible. But yeah, this suit is perfectly serviceable as well. It's just a shame about the tolerances. Speaking of the articulation, now with this guy being so finicky, I do apologise in advance. We will attempt I just immediately popped the head apart there. You can't really go back because of this sheer Darth Vader style helmet he's got here. He can go forward quite a bit. He does swivel and pivot ever so slightly, but again the Darth Vader style helmet gets in the way. This top half of his helmet pops up to reveal a better look at the mono eye that's in there. But I just tend to leave it down. Looks cooler. Arms, like I said, because the tolerances are a bit looser than usual, it swivels just fine. You will notice I am still being very cautious with it though. This section right here does collapse and extend out. I prefer to leave it extended because I like this extra bit of black that's showing here. Front section here does move, as does the back, and the bit here also moves as well. You get a bit of movement on these thrusters also, which is quite nice. We do have a butterfly right here, which, considering his absolute gargantuan size and bulk, he does have a really good pivot. If only his feet could keep him up. Yeah, very, very nice. Arms can go up that far. Quite good, considering his bulk as well. Bicep swivel. Double joint at the elbow, which gets really good range, again, despite the size. You also get a sort of a piston at the back here. If you push that back in, piston disappears. Very, very cool. Ball peg at the wrist. Abs are pretty much non-existent in this guy. They can get a little bit back, but not really much else. I almost just detached the entire thing there. He does swivel though, which is nice. It's just on a peg. That peg may pop out from time to time because that right there is the MS joint. Kinda wish they would have just almost popped the torso apart again. Come on, don't start falling apart on me now. Here we go. We also have hinge side to side. The skirts will pop off after a certain point. That's just inevitable. There we go. You can do the splits regardless though. We also have a pull down system, which again isn't really the tightest on the planet. The swivel itself is a bit more loose than I would like it to be, unfortunately. This entire hip skirt assembly needs to go in the bin. I'm sorry. Like, I am not sure how easily they pop off on the official kit, but on this guy, yeah, on this guy they are just going to fall apart all the damn time. Put that bit on like so. Come on. Now those stupid feet moving again. We do have a double jointed knee, which you wouldn't expect to get that range for the size of this guy, which is very, very cool. Very nice. This front foot armour does move and pivot out the way. The side armour here also moves out of the way a bit. And this bit is a big hinge joint right there. Oh, we do also have thigh rotation, apologies, which, yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare down here. So it goes forward, does go back as well. The front of the foot, quite honestly, I may just glue in place. The toe does move as well. And we have this back heel, which does click into place to give them a bit more stability. But as I said before, if you touch it a bit too much, that assembly will just disintegrate on you. And you really cannot rely on it. So yeah, overall guys, it's an excellent kit. Honestly, I believe this is one of the... Stop popping down. There we go. Can you tell I'm getting really frustrated with this kit? But yeah, overall, a gorgeous looking kit. A good price for the kit overall. It's just those niggling issues. Oh my god. Those niggling issues that just constantly, every time you touch the kit, it starts all over again. So yeah, this is definitely a kit you build, pose up, and just leave once it's done. It is not a kit for like messing about with, unfortunately. Like I said, I don't know how much of this translates to the official kit, whether the official kit had any of the same issues. As far as I know, the only issues the original kit had were the shoulders and the wrists breaking. But those actually appear to be fixed on this guy. So, yeah, pick your poison, I suppose. I don't know what the quality is on the Sea or the Gao Gao. So, yeah, up to yourselves, guys. I will leave links to all of them in the description below. So, yeah, guys, until next time, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all later.